Happy Thursday.
Happy 2021.
That too. Yes.
I know. WON 21.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're here.
Yay.
I am Dr. Charlie, the Book Mama.
Stephanie Palmer, the Grammar Queen.
We're really glad to join you in a new year. So, hey guys, take time to like and share us, especially with someone that you know has aspiring goals in the new year to write a book. We have already heard from quite a few people that is part of their, I don't know that they say a resolution. Resolution's like an outward now. It's like goals.
Yeah. You need to have goals. No resolutions. Out with the resolutions, in with the goals.
We resolve not to have resolutions.
That's it.
We're going to set ourselves up to have great goals.
Yes.
Right? Did I say that well?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Maybe I should do that for myself.
Hey, we're working on it.
It feels like we're still catching up.
It does. It's like, the holidays were like.
It's like, it's day 7 in January.
Yes. One weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm still going, wow, we're 7 days into this. It's crazy. So you had a wonderful Christmas.
I did. I had a great Christmas. It was fantastic. I was able to get off of social media, just enjoy family. It was great.
Right. I had a lot of bonfires.
Yeah.
That's all I did is I just cleared trees and burned trees, but it was fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
You made it work.
I made it work. We had bonfire Christmas, y'all. So we're going to have an interesting show today, partly because it has to do with goals. And Stephanie came up with this great idea for the show today. So I'm going to let you share what it is.
It is the 3 C's of... Wait, what?
We're in 2021.
Yeah, 21. Yeah. 3 C's of writing.
It's already started, y'all.
Yeah, look. 3 C's of writing for 2021. Clarity, commitment, and confidence.
I found something you're going to love. Like, you're really going to love this.
Everything that you bring up.
Don't lie. Don't lie. Okay, I found a quote.
Okay.
Do you remember Pascal from math?
No.
Okay.
You say math.
He was this French philosopher and mathematician dude that, he did some pretty brilliant stuff back in the day.
Gotcha.
A long, long time ago, like further back than 7 years ago.
I think you're in close running with Darren as far as like random facts. I'm like, y'all are tied like right there at the top. You just pull out these names. And but I'm learning. You're teaching me. You're such a great teacher.
I never wanted to know about Pascal. I think that was Linda Faraci in 7th grade who said, let me tell you about Pascal. It's important that you know this guy. So anyway.
I'm glad you remember him.
But he had a really great quote about clarity that I think you're actually really going to like.
Okay.
He said, clarity of mind means clarity of passion too.
That's good. So true. It's so true.
Yeah. So if your mind is clear, then your passion can be clear.
Yes.
And then I found another one. This quote was unknown, but I thought that you would appreciate this one too. Clarity is the moment we see without opening our eyes.
That's good.
I know. Just kind of let that sit there a minute.
Yeah.
Clarity
Say that one more time. Yeah.
Clarity is the moment we see without opening our eyes.
Yes. That is so
I like those.
Yeah, me too.
So
we can end the show on that. That's it. That's all you need.
See you next week, folks. No. We're not going to do. Okay, where did that come from? Where's that quote from? See you next week, folks. That's all, folks. I'm sorry.
Okay, now I know Bugs Bunny. Now I can. There you go. Hey, you know what?
Folks.
I feel like I have just gained more wisdom.
Okay, I'm so dating myself. You want to talk about the 3 C's and get me out of this hot water?
Yes, let's talk about the 3 C's. And you kind of even started with the whole clarity piece, but even going into the quotes, defining clarity. A lot of people don't even really grasp the concept. And I know I have to work on it as well. When you're trying to achieve a goal or you're trying to do something, you need to have clarity before you get ready to do it. So ultimately, it just means clearness, like being able to, see with your eyes closed and, being coherent and easily understood.
what areas, like, for clarity, what areas do you struggle finding clarity?
My thing is clarity for me is tackling my to-do list and prioritizing what needs to
Yeah.
go first.
That's an acquired skill.
Yeah.
You have to really.
Yeah.
So I recently cleaned out my closet, and that's what popped into my mind is I stood there looking at this closet, and I'm like, I need clarity. Like, what goes where? How are we going to do this? How is it going to work?
Right.
Yeah. So I needed clarity. So
Yeah.
you almost have to step back.
Yes.
And look at everything
Yes.
on the list, or everything that's contributing to the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even having my thing, even to help me with clarity, is getting outside help. I'm big on, like, if I have some tasks to do, I will ask Darren to, like, hey, give me clarity. Like, what do I need to do first, or how would you do this, to get somebody else's thoughts and perspective, as opposed to.
And does he give you clarity, or does he give you a random historical fact?
He probably does both simultaneously, but
probably.
But for the most part, having that outside perspective and guidance has been, is very beneficial when it comes to clarity.
Okay, yeah. So that's really good. So we want to talk about clarity in writing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes that is a messy closet in itself.
It is, yeah. And there's layers to it, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does that look like?
The biggest thing with clarity when it comes to writing is, of course, and we talk about it all the time. So it's like, and everybody talks about your why, your why, your why. You want to know why you're writing, or, have clarity with why you're writing the book, or writing what you're writing, and have clarity with what you're writing. So keeping those two in mind and at the forefront as you're going through the process is very, very important. If not, you'll lose sight and you won't have clarity.
So sometimes we have authors who write books, and then they may write a supplement to that book. So it might be a journal, or it might be a workbook, or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're trying to write the supplement while they're writing the book.
Yeah.
That's not clarity.
Mm-mm. No.
Supplement means in addition to.
Right.
Supplement means after the fact, attached to, linked to, related to, but not it.
Right.
So that's one of the things that we see sometimes with writers, is the lack of clarity.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
I love the why. We talk about this a lot, but it's like the compass for a writer.
Yes, it is.
It helps you find your true north.
And goals all together. Knowing why you're doing something is going to keep you continuing to do it.
Are you trying to save the youth of America? Or are you trying to sell your bug spray?
Right.
Right. I don't know why bug spray came to mind.
I have no idea either. Maybe
what?
Cleaning the closet. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't have bugs in my closet.
That's a good thing. I'm just saying.
I had a lot of boots, but I didn't have any bugs.
Hey, who knows?
So what do you ask yourself to find your clarity? What are some good questions that a writer can ask themselves to help bring it in?
What makes me want to write this specific book?
Okay.
So like you said, the bug spray or saving youth, what am I writing for? Who am I writing to? Those type things. Those are like the two biggest, because that is going to be able to, provide the clarity that you need. We're going to just be redundant with the word clarity. Y'all are going to hear it multiple times. But good morning, Jency.
Hey, Jency.
Yes.
Hey, Latoya.
Latoya.
And Nikisha.
And Nikisha.
Yeah.
On Instagram. So yeah, just asking those questions and keeping those in mind.
Okay. So one of the things that helps me figure those things out is kind of knowing what makes me relatable. What is my knowledge base, or what is my experience?
Yeah.
So, when I'm writing, I have to come at it from what I know.
Right.
And sometimes, so that's sometimes your message is, you got to keep bringing it back around.
Yeah.
You can't go read somebody else's stuff.
Yes.
I mean, it might highlight what you already know, but don't try to recreate what they've already done because that was their story. You need to write yours.
Right. Yes.
To thine own self be true.
Shakespeare.
Yeah!
Hey, I will take it. I will take it.
It is 2021. She has done it.
Hey,
I have trained the grammar queen. She just knew a Shakespeare quote.
Woo-hoo.
We can shut it down, go home. Come on, 2022. I have achieved something in 2021. I'm so proud of myself and you right now.
Yay. Yeah. See, she's rubbing off on me, y'all. That could be a good thing or that could be a very scary thing. Yeah.
I feel like
Who
I
knows?
need a Superman cape,
Right?
Superwoman cape or
Woo-hoo,
something
look
right
at you.
now.
Somebody, you're going to get a trophy today.
Right. Even our viewers are like, yeah, she needs a trophy.
That's hilarious.
Okay, I'm sorry. Off topic. That was my very excited squirrel.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, if this is your first time watching Writers Therapy, we are really drinking straight water and straight up black coffee around here. Like, I just want you to know that you would have to go back, which you can do, and watch all of our shows on our YouTube channel. But truly, that was an achievement. Like,
yes. Woohoo. Yeah.
This is a great
I start
day.
2021 out right. Like, hey. Okay.
So where were we? We lost our clarity.
Yeah, to thine own self be true. So we quoted you quoted Shakespeare and talking about what really and it goes back to staying in your lane. So, writing about what you're passionate about, what a theme, an overall theme that people can, you can be able to share. So like something that I really think that like even you and I, the commonality between us is, a wife, mother, those lanes right there, are definitely some things that we can write about pretty much all day, every day.
Yes.
As being a wife and a mom. Now, I'm not gonna write about being a chef or being a race car driver because those are things that I'm not passionate about. Never really done those type of things. So yeah. Well,
I'm so glad you said that. It made me remember something I forgot to do.
Cook.
No,
turn on the crock pot.
No, my son asked me for a recipe, y'all, and I forgot to send it to him. He wants me to send him a recipe for squirrel dumplings.
I'm gonna let y'all have all of that.
I didn't say I liked it. Just got a recipe for it. Everybody out there's going, did she really just say squirrel?
Yes, she did. It's 2021. Anything goes. So
okay. So what's our next C?
Well, wait before we process that. Yeah, no. You're jumping ahead. Look at you. Okay,
I'm just excited.
Even a question to ask, or what stories have you read that you relate to? So if it's authors that you've read, what kind of lives have they lived that are similar to yours? Kind of like with our mom and wife piece.
Jinsey says, "Let us pray."
We will be doing that, definitely. Thank you for joining us in
prayer.
Yes. And then the last question is, how does this book fit into my overall long-term plan as an author or speaker or entrepreneur or whatever that looks like? You definitely want to keep that plan in mind because you don't want to write about butterflies if you're trying to speak about, women empowerment. That's kind of, defeating the purpose when it comes to...
Butterflies have power.
They do, but we don't want to talk about butterflies the whole time. You can use that analogy or metaphor, but don't just, talk about butterflies. Okay. We're diverting. Okay. Write out a mission statement. If there's, and you're gonna fix to put me under the bus. Okay, so no. So writing out a mission statement as an author, the brief description of purpose, setting out the goals.
That challenged me. So Stephanie presented me with this before the show, and that challenged me because I have a personal mission statement, but I don't have a mission statement as an author.
Yeah.
And I have an identity statement, but I don't know that it is connected to my writing. So
think about.
I'm going to have to really chew on this one. I have been challenged by the grammar queen.
Woohoo! I won my challenge today, so we're going to wait and see what you do. Yeah,
Okay.
you challenged me with a quote, and
I feel like we both won with that one.
we did.
Won.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and I'm the same way with you. I don't have a mission statement as an author, so I'm going to challenge myself.
So I know that we have a couple of authors watching, and I would be curious to know if they have a mission statement as an author. Like, did you write down a mission statement for how you would write or what you would bring forth into the world as an author? I mean, that's really, that's a really fascinating concept.
It is. Yeah.
I'm going to have to chew on that one a lot.
Yeah. We'll let y'all know when we finish ours, so we can share it with y'all, and then feel free to share y'all's mission statement with us. If you don't have one, I encourage you to think about it.
Shakespeare quote, and you feel like you can volunteer me for something?
Yeah, I'm gonna volunteer. Yes, I volunteer myself and the book mama.
Okay.
To write a mission statement.
All right, I'll let you do it.
You let me.
You've earned it.
Okay. Oh, I challenge you. Okay, or
I'll let you challenge me. You've earned it.
Yay. Okay, so just before we go into the next piece, tips for clarity.
I like the backup method.
Okay. Tell us about the backup. Expound on that.
Okay. So sometimes when I want clarity, I have to remember a very wise piece of advice that my husband gives.
Okay.
For an arrow to hit its mark, it must first be pulled back. And the more it's pulled back, the more likely it is to hit the bullseye. And so it's just like when you're standing right in the middle of a lack of clarity, if you can back up and look at everything and get a better holistic perspective of everything, I feel like that helps you categorize, and I feel like that helps you really pinpoint things.
Yes.
So I like the backup method.
Yeah, and even while you are saying that, I'm even thinking that from an editor's perspective, because we'll have authors that, as far as our accountability goes, we, request that they submit a chapter each week, and then they're eager for us to read that chapter and tell them what we think. However, having that, what do you call it? The backup method, and waiting until the book is completely done as a holistic approach to the entire book, because we could tell you something is great, but if you keep submitting chapters and none of them intertwine or connect, and they're completely off topic, you really are doing a disservice as far as editing goes, because they won't have clarity, we won't have clarity, and so I think that's a great, that's awesome. I really like the backup method.
Yep. Yeah. Shout out to Hot Rod.
Yes. We appreciate that wisdom that you have bestowed upon the book mama. Okay. So here we go. Okay. So, and I think even that kind of ties in with reflecting. Well, not really. I mean, it's overall looking, but even, I guess it does kind of tie in with reflection, but I like the backup method. Is that we're gonna incorporate?
I just
that.
Kind of dubbed it that, but
that works.
Yeah,
I like it. Okay, organization, and this is key when it comes to writing. And we always.
Oh, do I get to say our favorite word?
You do get to say our
outline.
Favorite word. Yes, outline. As much as you possibly can. Please do that. It will help make our jobs easier, and it will help make the writing easier if you are going by an outline, because that is the guide that we will be able to use, and we'll be able to let the authors know, like, hey, your outline says this, but you wrote about this. You might want to revert back to your outline. You can always change the outline, but to make sure that the overall, the book has clarity, you want to be able to tie the two together. So you want to be able to check the outline and make sure that it is aligning with the content that you have written.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to break the rules.
Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't break the outline rule.
No, that is like the number one thing.
You can't break the outline rule.
Yeah.
If you break the outline rule, you might not get into heaven. I mean, I'm just saying. No,
we will be praying on that.
I'm pretty sure that was not between Genesis and Revelation, but if I could add something, it might be the outline rule.
That is part of our editor's prayer, that you have an outline.
That should be part of our writing mission statement.
There you go. Yes.
Well, that should be part of your mission statement.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, but sometimes you have to do something a little bit different
Right.
to keep your clarity.
Yes.
To
Yeah.
not write the outline.
Right.
You didn't hear that.
Yeah.
It's to keep your clarity.
Yeah.
So sometimes when we work with authors, very often they think that they're going to write they slate a time in every day to write a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that might work for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly a strange virus hits their country and their children are sent home to homeschool, and they are working from home and they're homeschooling from home. And does this sound familiar?
It sounds so familiar. Like,
so life happens.
Last year,
but life happens. And so they may have to redirect in order to keep their clarity.
Yes.
And so you suddenly may hear your book coach, the book mama, say, maybe it's time for a 3-day weekend in a hotel room by yourself.
Yeah.
So that you can keep your clarity, keep your focus, meet your goals. So that's kind of breaking the rules.
Yeah. Yeah,
maybe like personal rules that you set up for your writing time.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And I'm even looking at it as far as not necessarily writing style, but there was an author, and she goes from her outline. So she has her chapters and she writes them on index cards. She writes each chapter on an index card, and then she she switches them off, shuffles them up, and then she'll just randomly pick one week and write out of order to kind of shift things a little bit.
They made my insides quiver. I could not do that, y'all. I could not. That makes me.
Yeah, she just
frightens me.
No,
man, that's gutsy.
Yeah,
that's gutsy.
And I've even sometimes I have, I write backwards occasionally, but then I can always go back and clean it up. But if I'll get overwhelmed with, I know this chapter is coming up next, and I'm kind of like, I'm not really feeling the content for that. Let me skip a chapter, or
different from pot shot writing.
Well, she doesn't do it. She doesn't do it all the time. But when she's in that mode of where she's not having clarity, she's kind of going through writer's block or whatever. She'll just shuffle them up and pick one.
Wow, that's gutsy.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very good example.
Yeah. We don't request that you do that unless you're really stuck in that mode.
You can.
Yeah.
It's like drawing straws. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next C, commitment. Yeah.
I just want to say something about commitment.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear it. Y'all get your pen and paper ready.
Be committed the whole way through.
Say that one more time.
Be committed the whole way through. Now, I say that with the understanding that a process and a project has waves, and a project almost has seasons. Okay.
Yes.
And so that initial writing, getting the book out, I just got to get it out and get it turned into my editor. That is literally like the biggest challenge. Okay.
Right.
And we understand that. But you don't just get to turn it over to us and then we're going to wave a magic wand, hocus pocus, there it is.
Yeah.
There is a process.
Yes.
And the editing is just as important as the writing. It just looks different.
Right.
And you can't fall asleep during editing and then right before your book goes to print, you suddenly decide that you are a grammar Nazi and that you're going to go through and fix your book. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that because you're actually creating more work for yourself and the editors. If you are committed the whole way through every step,
yes,
even if you need to take a little longer for those steps, that's okay. We understand that. Look, if you turn that book over and we, do an initial assessment and we look at that book and we're like, this is our comment, and you get it back and you're like, you killed a whale. There is blood everywhere all over my book. And which is not necessarily true, but some people feel that way. So, and you're like, I can't do this right now. I need a few weeks. That's okay.
Yeah.
We understand. Just say, you know what? It might be a minute before I can commit myself to looking back at this again. That I can respect. It's when you wait until the very end to decide that you didn't want to use that word all the way through the book.
Yes.
Not a good time to do that.
Mm-mm.
And there are several reasons for that, but it's just so important. Stay committed through the whole process.
And that reminds me of a quote. It's like 2 mistakes one can make in life. 2 mistakes one can make in writing: not going all the way or not starting at all.
Wow.
Yeah. That's big. Yeah. And that's like, had us stop for a moment, but it's so true. Well,
didn't Dolly Parton say tinkle or get off the potty?
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm just keeping it real, y'all. That's kind of where I'm at.
and that's what we see that all the time. They're so eager and anxious and excited to get it done. They just push through and don't commit. They do not commit. And the thing about it is, saying you're committed and being committed are 2 different things.
Oh yes.
So
are we talking about marriage or books?
Right.
Relationships or books. Yeah, we are therapists, self-proclaimed.
Yes, self-proclaimed. Yes.
But yes, we are.
Do not turn us in or report us. We are self-proclaimed writers therapists.
If you wrote in and told anybody, those writers therapists really need to have their licenses revoked, they're going to go, okay. But yeah, commitment.
Yes, because becoming a writer is not as hard as staying one. It's easy to start something. I mean, if you really think about it, how many times have you started? Well, I'm speaking for myself. I have started and stopped so many different things that, it's difficult to stay committed.
I have so many books up here that I've started in my mind.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes those require
they aren't published yet. They're good, but they're still up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes doing a brain dump, getting everything out is good. But at the same time, you can create a plan, you can do all these great things, but if you're not going to commit to it, why are you even doing it? And
starting is usually actually easy.
Yeah. Starting
the idea of something.
The idea, because you get excited, the motivation's going, you get the adrenaline rush and just the thought of it. You visualize yourself as the author, you visualize yourself with that book in your hands, and all of those things are great, but it's the in-between where, a lot of people get lost.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So
self-doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs often show up in commitment.
Yes, absolutely.
They can really change our commitment. And the self-doubt. Now I have to tell y'all that is something that in my writing process, I'm committed. I start, I'm going good. And that self-doubt starts creeping in, and it is really hard for me to keep writing through that.
Yeah. And it happens to everyone, but pushing past it is the challenge, because
I've been having to do some self-taught because, I'm working on a book right now.
Yes.
And so it seems like as soon as I started writing my book, everywhere I looked, there were advertisements popping up about people writing on a similar topic. And so that self-doubt, you think, well, what I have to say really probably doesn't matter. Somebody else has already said it. I'm sure they said it better than I did. No. That's not true.
Right.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Because you do have something valuable to say in your story. Is nobody has the same story. We're just not designed like that. Nobody has the same story. So, okay. So what else?
Self-doubt. When you have self-doubt, it leads to procrastination.
Oh.
It leads to procrastination. So when you start thinking those things.
By the way, you do not have to be able to spell procrastination in order to practice it.
Yeah, right.
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
And resistance. Like you say, it's really a battle within the mind. You are pushing through what that looks like, because and it's different for everyone. You start thinking all of these off the wall thoughts that never would have even shown up had you not made the commitment to write the book.
Right.
So
absolutely. Okay, so
tips for commitment. How do you stay committed?
Well, accountability, I think, is good.
Yes.
I like accountability.
Yeah, that's like number one. Who's holding you accountable?
I have some friends who are holding me accountable.
Okay, I just didn't know if you wanted the grammar queen to do that or not. But
I would love the grammar queen to do that.
You know what? Look, she's challenging me, y'all, and I'm going to accept that challenge. Hey, I'll send you my link and you can schedule a time.
Oh my gosh!
I'm kidding. Okay. Okay, we're good.
Yes, but I really do. I have some people, that are kind of, they're just regularly. So how's that book? How are you doing? Those kind of things. So they are asking me about that.
But you haven't went through the process of how, like, what we do with our authors and have them submit something weekly. Have you done that yet?
No, I haven't done that.
2021 is a great year to do that.
What's your next point?
Hey, we'll talk about that off air. Yeah,
off air. That might have been denial. The first step in all 12 steps is admitting you have a problem.
Hey, while we're at it, we're gonna commit and have clarity and gain confidence. So, another way to stay committed is to allow yourself to have breaks. So if life has happened, if you are overwhelmed, if you are struggling through a certain time, you have all these things going on, go ahead, allow yourself to get a break. But a break does not mean quit. A break means slow down for a period of time and then get back on track. So if, say, today, is Thursday, say, you know what, I was supposed to have I'm supposed to have my chapter in by next Wednesday. I'm halfway through with it. I'm just going to give myself a break and I will get it the following Monday.
I would also like to add, a part of commitment is realistic goals.
Yes. Yeah.
You're not going to sit down. Very rarely does anyone sit down in one sitting and write a whole book.
Yeah. It's just
there are a few that I know of that have done that.
Yeah. If you have done that, we would love for you to email us. We will give you a trophy.
Just come sit next to me. Yeah. I will just rub up against you.
Yeah.
Some like a little meerkat or something and just get it.
Yeah, because that's almost,
so
it's
Mary
not impossible.
Shelley did that.
I don't know who that is.
Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
And she literally wrote it like in a weekend.
Yeah, that's crazy.
She wrote the whole thing. So kudos to Mary Shelley.
Yeah,
yay for you.
But yeah,
it's really hard to do that.
It is.
And so just give yourself permission to do it in segments, in partials. You know, you don't have to sit down and just pump out this book.
Right.
Doesn't work like that. So
you want to have progress,
and that helps you celebrate small wins.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like when you finish a chapter, that's a small win. When you finish another chapter, that's a small win.
Yeah, each week.
Yeah,
definitely. Okay, and another way to commit is to get rid of distractions. And like, Charlie uses the 3-day weekend or, whatever that looks like. And maybe you're not in a position where you can go, for 3 days, but even, carving out, maybe just do 4 hours. If you've just really been, overwhelmed, stuck or whatever, just 4 hours. I
would like to publicly say we do not suggest locking your children in the basement.
Yeah. Don't do that. No. Okay. No.
That usually
you can give yourself a timeout.
That might backfire on you. Oh, that's a good one. Put yourself in timeout.
Put yourself in timeout. Yeah, yeah. And Charlie and I, even as our book mama and I, we talked about that. How when her kids were younger, that's what she did. Like mommy's in timeout. I do take 5. But in this case, it would probably have to be like a 5-hour timeout or something like that. Just a window to say, hey,
Right.
I'm getting this
Might need a
done.
little more time.
Yeah. And then know if, if music maybe deter you to not be as creative. Or there's some people that listening to music helps
Really
them,
helps them.
really find
Yeah.
that flow of what works for you. But for me, like I've got to get rid of all distractions. I need silence. I don't need interruptions. I don't need, all that. Like, I mean, even last night I was working on some things and my daughter came in and was like, Mom, are you going to go to sleep? I was like, quit talking to me. Quit talking to me. I'm in the middle of this. Like, leave me alone. And she was like, okay. But I mean, but it's real. Like, I mean, I was literally like zoned in getting this done. I don't want anyone to talk to me. Don't look at me too long. Just leave me alone so I can work and crank things out. So yeah, those are ways for to help stay committed. So let's talk about the last one.
Confidence.
Yes, confidence. Yeah.
Confidence is kind of a loaded.
It is. Yeah. There's layers to each one of these. It's not one, you can have multiple conversations about these same topics.
In learning to write well, first of all, don't go into writing thinking that you are
a good writer.
It's okay to be mediocre. It's okay. The point is to get the thoughts down. Yeah. Don't judge yourself along the way. I see this, so you do too, all the time. I'm writing a book and I have to edit it as I go so that and then you get lost in grammar rules that you never learned in 8th grade. And so it's okay that you don't know all those grammar rules. That's what an editor is for.
Yes.
Get the thoughts down.
Yes.
That's your clarity coming in to build up your confidence.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
But it's a skill. It's a skill.
Yeah.
It
takes time, practice, all of that.
So what if they fail?
It's okay to fail.
It is okay to fail. Just fail forward.
Fail forward. And nothing is really included as a failure unless you quit.
Right.
But these are some of the, the thoughts that people have that deter them from having confidence. Like, failing.
And not everybody's going to believe in you.
Right. Yeah.
And I would caution you, if you do not have a really strong support system around you, don't tell everybody you're writing a book.
Don't do it. No.
If you are surrounded by a lot of negative people, they just don't need to know.
Right.
It's on a need to know basis.
Right.
But I would suggest that you find a few people that can really encourage you, build you up, give you confidence, talk you through it when it gets hard. That's one of the things we do as book coaches. We're there all the time. We should have pom-poms. I really think we need to have pom-poms. Yeah. I'll pass on the little short skirt, but
me too.
But I would take some pom-poms.
Yeah.
I got a cowbell. So that's the football mama coming out. But there's always the necessity to have a few people in your court who are going to help you reach that bullseye, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
But confidence, you do not need people eating at your confidence like a bunch of leeches. They do not need to be sucking your confidence right out of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. And then I think too, with that whole piece is, when you go to those people, you're looking for someone to encourage, and then they end up discouraging you, and then you start judging yourself, and you judge your confidence. You start comparing yourself. You start, thinking that you're not good enough to write a book, or no one is going to read it. Nobody cares to hear your story. All of those, negative thoughts and those limiting beliefs and ideas start, just overtaking the whole idea of writing the book in the first place.
Right. So many, many years ago, my mother, who is who's not with us on earth anymore, wrote a short story for Guidepost magazine. And it was a true story. And I remember when she was writing it, and I remember that my dad would encourage her, but there were several people in our little local community who found out, and I don't remember how, because this was way before social media, but they found out and they just thought it was silly that she thought, they really thought she was silly for thinking. And she was an educated woman, and she was a school teacher. She taught English. She taught people to write. I mean, there was no reason that she couldn't write, but for some reason that just seemed beyond their comprehension. But guess what?
She did it.
She got that story published in Guidepost. She sure did.
Oh, that's awesome.
I want to say it was around 1980 to 85. Yeah, sometime in there.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so don't listen to those people.
Yeah, do not.
Do not.
Yeah.
You be your own cheerleader.
Yeah.
Because you know what's in your heart and in your spirit. And so, and don't judge yourself.
Right.
Don't judge yourself. The first question I had on the phone this morning was, do you think that this book is going to sell? Wrong question.
Yeah.
Wrong question. The better question, this was a children's book. And so the better question would have been, do you think kids will like this? Because isn't that your audience? Isn't that who you're writing for? Do you think the kids will like this? That's all that really matters.
Yeah. Or will they learn something from it?
Yeah.
Will this help them?
Absolutely.
Those type things, instead of you know, getting discouraged by, book sales or lack of book sales, whatever that looks like.
You can't get wrapped up in how much money you gonna make when your book ain't done.
Right? Yeah.
You can't get wrapped up in how much money you're going to make when your book is done.
Right.
So it's about serving people. You put your book out there to serve people. And if you're putting it out there for any other reason, you're probably not going to do so well.
Right. That's really good. I like that. You're writing your story to serve someone else. That's awesome.
It really is.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
why I'm writing my book, is because I have a group of people that I really want to serve. And you're writing a new book, right? Correct?
Do we have to say it on there? No, mine is currently on pause because I'm currently working on other projects. But as soon as those other projects are done, because it's kind of like, even for me, if I'm writing or doing ghostwriting projects or anything, I will set mine. Yeah, I'll set mine aside because you get too many things, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to put that in my book. I'll put that in theirs, or it gets too much. So I don't want to.
Right. You get Dracula in the Flintstone car going to Nottingham.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So it is currently on pause, but I'm fixing to really hone in and put dates, to the goals that I have, so that I can do it, because it's been a project that's been 3 years of waiting.
I know what it's about. And my point is that you have a particular group of people that you want to serve. Yeah. That you're writing, your idea for this book is to serve others.
Absolutely, yes.
And so I think it's important.
Yes. Okay. So, where were we? We're on so, no one wants to face rejection or criticism or failure when you're passionate about it. So, if somebody did want to write about butterflies, our job, or what we enjoy doing, is not to discourage someone, even if they send it to us and they ask us if it's not good. And maybe it's something that we are not really interested in. We're not going to discourage anyone, and criticize, because that's something that they're passionate about. And the same goes for writing. If you're passionate about butterflies, write about butterflies. There's somebody that will read a book about butterflies. I don't know why I keep going back to butterflies.
I'm not sure. Maybe you're going through a personal metamorphosis.
Yeah, there you go. Right there. Yeah. From 2020 to 2021.
So as she was talking about your passion and staying on your passion, something occurred to me. I recently heard a female, I guess she's an evangelist. She was talking, and the word passion, and I'm dancing around this because I don't remember all the specific details, but the word passion in the Greek originally meant something that causes pain. So when you're passionate about something, you can expect that it's not going to be easy.
Wow, that's good.
So if you're passionate about something and you feel like you really need to write about it, that's great. That's your fuel. But at the same time, it's also going to be the pothole that you can step in.
Right.
And so you have to go into it with your eyes wide open, knowing that. But that will help you keep your confidence, knowing that that is what that means.
Yes. It's really good. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, and I just even want to set the reminder is, you're doing something you've never done before. But the most important thing is the fact that you are doing something.
Right.
That's going to help with confidence. It's going to, I mean, it's uncommon. It's something you haven't
Very
ever
rarely
done.
do you do anything for the first time that you did
with
really
confidence.
well.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so what kind of tips do you have for people in the area of confidence?
And it's something that you had even shared when we started talking about confidence is the write first, edit later.
Yeah.
Is big. I'm one to, I really do like to go back and look at my work, and then I find myself going, chasing squirrels or going through rabbit holes and like, oh, I can share this. I can go back and, talk more about this. And sometimes if I do happen to see something when I'm going through it, I'll even just make put a comment to myself, like, if an idea or something came to mind, but then I have to, revert back to going through the chapter that I actually need to be working on instead of
re-editing. And as you write more books, you will get better at the writing and
yes.
the editing as you go. And sometimes people, that's just not their gift, and they just don't edit as they go, and that's okay. So we've talked about embracing, thoughts and direction and coaching, but embrace criticism.
Yes. Yeah. Embrace
now,
it.
I want to put some safe boundaries around that. Okay.
What's the question?
Can you share ways to get over the hump, break the ice to start
writing? Okay.
We
just had a question. We'll talk about that in just a second.
Yes. We will come back to that. Sure.
I just want to put some boundaries around criticism. If your criticism is, that's stupid, I can't believe you wrote that, you're not a writer, you should really rethink, don't quit your day job. If that's what criticism is, then you need to literally let that criticism go in one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
If your criticism is constructive and it says, have you ever thought that maybe the 4th chapter needs to go before the 2nd chapter?
Yes.
Have you ever considered that your character needs to be more fully developed because they need to know the personal thoughts and foundations of that character?
Yes.
That's good criticism. That's criticism as a writer that you need to be willing to accept.
Yes. Yeah, because if you're not willing to accept constructive criticism, you are never going to get better. The growth, as you've stopped the growth as far as a writer. Like, you will limit yourself because you're not receptive to what others have to share.
Right.
That come from a place of love.
I can't remember his name, but I heard a story one time about an author who had written a novel. It was long, like Moby Dick ×2, like it was long, and he tried to get his friends to read it, and his friends couldn't even get through it. Anyway, long story short, somebody had the guts to say, as a book, it's really not that good, but maybe you could think about taking every chapter and writing a short story from that chapter and submitting it to a magazine. And he was really offended. And for a long time, he didn't do any. He was offended that nobody really read it. He was offended that the one person who did, that was her suggestion. And then lo and behold, he decided to embrace the criticism and submitted one of his chapters. I want to say it was to the New York Times or, a really big magazine. And anyway, he ended up writing short stories and making a living at it and doing very, very well because he was a great short story writer. And so I'm just saying that criticism can really be helpful.
It can be. Yeah. And even if it's kind of like those realistic goals, you have a goal that you've set for yourself in one direction, but that might not be the direction you need to go. So when you do receive that constructive criticism, you can do something else. I know we have authors all the time where we have a lot of people, and I know there was an author that Darren was talking to. I was what they call ear hustling. I was listening. I was eavesdropping. However you want to say it.
Well, there's a new vocabulary word for you. Get out the Urban Dictionary. She was ear hustling.
Yes. So I was listening to the conversation, and he was talking about the gentleman on the other end was like, his daughter wanted to write a book, and so they wanted to get a children's book done. But then he said, well, I'm working on my book as well, And so Darren kind of, he played devil's advocate, so to speak. And he was like, which one is going to be more beneficial? Which direction do you want to go in first? Because doing both of them at the same time, or, doing one just because it's a passion project as opposed to leveraging your business will be two completely, you need to, make a, prioritize, have clarity and get that one done. And the guy was, the author was very receptive and looking forward to, switching how the order in which he was going to do the book. So
Right.
I think it's really good to have that, like I say, the sounding board,
Right.
for all of that.
So we did have a question that came in.
Yes, we did. Let's
and it
hear that
was
question again.
How to start writing.
Get over the hump. or
Get
break
over
the
that
ice.
hum and break the ice of really starting to write. So what would your advice be, Stephanie?
It goes back to the very beginning of having clarity. I really think, and I'm really big on brain dumping, like just getting everything out of my head on paper and then getting with someone who has done it before. Making sure that, even if it's just some direction to, do the outline. If you've never written a book before and you're not a writer, you just know you want to share your story, making sure that you have someone who can guide you on what that looks like, and creating the habit. It's the biggest thing is, like we said, the easiest part is what we say, starting. But for some, there is that block. So just even if you just start journaling until you can brain dump and get that process out, or if you would, we would love to be able to assist and walk you through that, to be able to get an outline and give you clarity on what it would look like and the overall direction of what book
Right.
you need to write.
And just because we're editors, please understand we're also book coaches. And that's
Yes,
what book
yeah,
coaches do, is we
Yeah.
actually coach you through that
Yeah,
process.
yeah.
And so I would add that, doing clarity is, or receiving clarity about your book is knowing that audience, knowing your purpose, writing those things down, making sure that it's really, really in your, like you have a compass on it. You're straight ahead with it. So.
Okay. Well, no, and before, I guess we're getting ready to segue and be done with it. I want to just revert back to commitment, because I think that's something that I'm working through. But I just want to share. We commit to other people. We commit to, I'm talking about me. I commit to the authors. I commit to my husband. I commit myself to my children. I commit myself to everyone. Do I commit myself to you? Yeah. Or are you talking about?
You're here, ain't you?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we are so easy to, commit to other people because we want to serve, we want to help, but we never commit to ourselves. We always break promises to ourselves. And it was Rachel Hollis that was sharing this piece. And it really resonated with me, because I'm quick to do that. I'm quick to say, hey, I'll commit to doing this. I'll commit to doing that. But when it comes to myself, I just won't commit. I'll just say, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it later, or it never gets done. But if we can commit to other people, we have it within us to commit to ourselves.
Yes.
So making sure that we are committing to the things that we aspire to do. So with your book, committing to yourself, knowing that, hey, I am going to get this done. And the same applies with me. Like I want to commit to, or I'm going to commit to writing the other book that I've put on the shelf for several years. So I just encourage anyone to stop breaking promises to yourself. If you feel led to,
wise words.
If you feel led to write a book, you feel led to share a story, you feel led to, start a nonprofit, you feel led to, start a business, whatever that looks like for you, stop breaking those promises to yourself and do it. Commit to it, get the clarity you need, and that will bring about the confidence in order to get it done.
Well said. Well said. Okay. I think it's time. I think you're going to have to wait for more wisdom till next week. I am Dr. Charlie, the Book Mama.
Stephanie Palmer, the Grammar Queen.
We hope you have a really great week.
Bye.